Hello and welcome to English 1301, Week 8. It's a very truncated week. It's the last week of the class, so let's get into what's going on. We are currently in Module 4, Essay number 4, and you should be working on the final essay. Let's take a look at the instructions here for that. So much like our other essays, it's 750 words. Again, discussing an issue within the topic of social media of your choice. And it's something that you need to argue for or against. You must have a stance that is for or against it. You can't just be somewhere in the middle or talk about how, meh, it's okay here, it's bad here, but whatever. You need to make a firm stance, whether you're for or against whatever your argument is. So, for this particular essay, you are required to use or at least reference one of the articles that we did for the summaries. You can base, your question on that topic, or you can simply reference it as part of your topic or relating to your topic. It doesn't have to be exactly over it. You just need to reference one of those articles that we use of the four that were there. And you have to have one scholarly article. It must be a scholarly article. A scholarly article is different from a public media or a popular media article in that it is usually found on the database, the library database, or it's a possibly an ebook or a book. You can also use Google Scholar. I think we talked about that last week to find an academic scholarly article, but you must have at least one academic scholarly article and reference one of the articles. After that, you can have as many popular media articles or popular media sources or other scholarly academic sources as you find necessary. Make sure that your formatting is in MLA along with MLA in-text citations. Make sure you have a properly formatted works cited page that is on its own separate page. If you look at the template that's been provided in writing resources, the MLA template, it has a works cited on a separate page. Make sure you're using Times New Roman font and be sure to put a um, word count at the end of your essay. One of the other things I want to make sure to point out, if you don't have proper MLA formatting, now everything has to be double spaced. If you don't have a works cited page and you don't have the two required sources, there's an automatic deduction of 20 points if any of those are missing. So again, pretty standard, the same as we've been doing for the other papers. You just have to have two specific kinds of sources. I would like to also make mention at this point that there was an extraordinary amount of AI being used for the last couple of papers, and I completely understand the sense of urgency that many of you have regarding this class since it is very short. However, it is still against not only the class policy to use AI for that, but also soon to be against the school policy for AI, especially if it is mentioned in the syllabus that it's not allowed. So remember, you cannot use AI to write any portion of your paper. You can use AI to help you do research for your paper. That's a perfectly acceptable use of AI. You can also use AI to help you with structuring your paper, like creating an outline for what you're going to write about, but you cannot use it to actually write your paper. And last but not least, do not use AI to check your paper. Such AI such as Grammarly will show up as AI use, and also it makes different kinds of suggestions for things that it sees. And if you use those suggestions, if you just click on it and say yes, it's going to mark it your paper as AI. So please don't use Grammarly. It is expressly verboten for this class. If you need or you feel like you want to use some sort of something to check your paper, use the built-in grammar and spelling checkers that are built into both Word or even Google Docs if you're using Google Docs. I cannot speak to any other program that you might be using, but those are the two that you can use. So be sure to use those built-in things, those tools that are there. They've been used for years. They do not show up as AI. Don't use Copilot. Don't use Gemini. Use the built-ins. Everything is due by March 4th. That is when the class will close. The class closes at March 4th at 11:59. That means all of your essays, any assignments that you have out, all revisions will be due by March 4th. And grades will be turned in by Friday, March whatever it is, 7th, I believe. So be sure to turn everything in. I will not be accepting anything after March 4th because I will need those 2 days to grade and get those grades in for you. But if you've noticed anything that you have out, anything that is currently out, uh, can be turned in. None of the assignments have closed, so if you can still see the assignment on Blackboard, you can turn it in. That is my caveat to you for an 8-week class. So be sure to get any assignments that you're missing in, and any revisions that you want to get turned in, please turn in. They will be looked at, considered, and your grade will be altered on your first essay grade. That's the grade that will be altered. So if you have any questions about anything, please be sure to email me. If you've been given the chance to rewrite essays for specific reasons, please get those in. Make sure you check your email. All the essays have been returned so far, and we will, all of your comments are on there, and we will deal with those on a regular basis. I'm sorry, a one-to-one basis when we get there. So be sure to check that. Other than that, if you have any questions, email me. Have a great rest of your week, and be sure, one last thing, be sure to keep checking your email even after the class has closed, at least till the end of the week, because as I am grading, if I have any questions about assignments, I will email you for clarification or other questions I might have that might affect your final grade. So be sure to keep your emails on and be alert to that until uh, till spring break, basically. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your week. Be sure to check the announcements, check your emails, and we will talk to you later.